Hello and welcome to an exciting episode of Straight Talk with Roger Hunt with Miss Bernadette Frazier.
Hey, Roger.
I'm here in the great city of Atlanta, Georgia with Bernadette. Can I call you Bernadette?
You can call me Bernadette.
Awesome, awesome. And we're going to have two other guests with us this afternoon. Just a pleasure to meet entrepreneurs with an entrepreneurial spirit and on the road to success and building great businesses. Miss Bernadette has a business called Affective Transformation, and I'm going to let you tell them about the business, but because of our connection and everything through another great entrepreneur here in Atlanta, Georgia, and also another entrepreneur from North Carolina, and it's just amazing how people connect to make great things happen for great people. So we have Miss Rose Graham coming in. She's from Atlanta, but she's from North Carolina. She's from all over.
All over.
Just say she's all over.
Yes.
And then we have Miss Alicia Tillman, who was from the great state of Illinois, but now she moved to North Carolina. And so, but and I'm from St. Louis, so we're just from all over the place, you know. So you're doing some wonderful things here in Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm excited.
And across the country. So tell us. You understand you do sessions, workshops, seminars, and conferences through Affective Transformations. Tell us a little about what it is that you do. We got the trash bags here. You probably see some Facebook folks. You can't see this though, but we got some shoes, we got some sandals.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Yes.
Flip-flops and trash bags.
Yes.
You know, on the counter there. You know, so you're going to tell us about that, and then we'll bring in our special guest though. But tell us some more about Affective Transformation.
Okay, Affective Transformation. Okay, let me explain a little bit how I got to that point. When I got to a point in my life where I was ready to transform, you know, is when you wake up and you realize that you are broke, you have no money. So that's the main transition that I did. Or to wake up and realize that you're not as happy as you want to be.
So let me ask you this. So were you working a regular traditional 9 to 5?
Yes, I was.
So just over broke, that they call it just over broke.
I don't even know if I was over broke.
Okay, but you just broke.
I was just broke.
Oh wow. So, okay, good.
So to take you back just a little bit, I mean, even growing up as a child, you know, I am the fourth girl of 5 girls, and a single parent. So it takes a lot, you know, from a small city in Mississippi about this big. If you blink, you will miss it. So, and just her working job, full-time job, not making a whole lot of money, raising 5 girls by herself. And you just don't have enough.
Right.
You know, you got family members that's coming in, they're helping, you have cousins, you have church members, everybody's helping, but there's still not enough.
Right.
And after a while, people can give for so long, and then after a while, you know, it stops. And so I just realized we didn't have as much as maybe the neighbors had, or maybe as much as the people at church had. And so I recognized that we were poor. You know, we may not have been poor, but we were poor. And we weren't, you know, we would maybe not been on food stamps and all this kind of stuff, but we couldn't afford the best of everything. You know, being the fourth girl, we got a whole lot of hand-me-downs. So I remember just having the hand-me-downs, and just as a child, didn't want to live like that forever as an adult. So I started dreaming as a child. And my dream was to be a very wealthy woman, to be rich, you know. So I didn't want to have to take hand-me-downs. I didn't want to have my children have hand-me-downs. You know, and I'm okay with hand-me-downs because I still do hand-me-downs. But at the same time, I didn't want that to be the only thing I got, you know. I wanted to be able to go purchase what I wanted to purchase, and I wanted to live the way I wanted to live. And because I'm a reader, I lived through reading books and dreamed and looking at magazines. You remember the time when magazines had pictures? And so I saw all these places, you know, I saw London, and I saw Paris, and I saw Italy, and I saw Greece. So I started dreaming about the time I was 8 years old, you know, that was going to be my life. I had made my decision, that was going to be my life. I was going to go to college, and that was going to be it. So somewhere between middle school, high school, college, and just living and all of that, life changed. And so it slowed down for a minute. I was now working 9 to 5. I was not that business owner that I dreamed about.
And I understand you have a dream board in your office.
I have a humongous.
It's huge. I've seen it. And what we'll do, and again, we'll show the viewers when we upload the YouTube. We'll show that dream board.
Okay.
And just so I'm going to clarify, if you're working a job, not to belittle anyone, because there's some great careers out there. I honestly truly believe there's some great careers. So not to say you just over broke, that's just a figure of speech that people use. You're doing great. You know, there's a lot of great companies out there doing great things to contribute to the gross national product of our country. Some great families are doing some great things with what they're doing. And as long as they enjoying their careers and jobs, that's more powerful.
Exactly. Because I didn't dislike my job. I actually loved what I did. I really enjoyed it. I just wanted more of the pie.
Right.
That was it. I just wanted a bigger piece of the pie, and I do a workshop called No More Crumbs. So that we'll talk about that later. But today we're gonna deal with trash bag and flip flops.
And these trash bag, what's up with these trash?
So I can't tell you yet till our guests get here. Once our guests get here, we're gonna deal with these trash bag and flip flops, and we're gonna transition. So we're going to transform. So when we leave here today, we're going to transition and we're going to transform. So
do I get to put a pair of flip-flops?
You do not know, because I don't know if your toes done or not. So
my toes are done. My toes, I got my, I know what's coming down here. I got my toes done. I had my sandals on yesterday, so my toes are done.
Okay, well
you can't come out here and showcase. You got to have all that done. So I'm ready for the flip flops.
We just not gonna put them on today, okay?
I thought we was gonna go to the beach too.
No, we're not going to the beach. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna let you hold them, and we're gonna transform.
Sounds good.
I'm telling you, we're gonna transform today. We're not gonna leave here.
So tell us more about this. So you got webinars, homework prior to the workshop that you do, and this is she's talking about completing the 501 C3 application. It's part of what you do with this Affective Transformation. There's a cost-effective to it, cost-effective sessions. I mean, it is so much information that you give, and again, I'm gonna let you tell more about it. When we get ready to bring our guests in, they're gonna tell us more of their stuff too. But
I will say the best way to find out more about what I do is to go to my website. If you go to www.effectivetransformation.org, then you will find everything that I do.
We'll put that on the site as well too.
So I do workshops, whether it's a Fortune 500 company, a Fortune 1000 company, or whether it's a local church. I've had family reunions to bring me in to do workshop and seminars, just to get the whole family used to, we're just thinking about the idea of we don't have to be broke, So I do family reunions. No group is too small and no group is too large, So.
And there's really no excuse these days why we have to stay in the financial situation that we're in, given the fact that, like I say, you read a lot, I read, so does a lot of other people, but knowledge is power. And with reading certain things to where you want to be, where you want to take yourself individually, if it's single or as a collective group, as a family body, you got to do that now, because in today's society, everybody reaches for greater and bigger things if that's the desire is, And I'm sure a lot of people don't want to stay in the same situation if they can help themselves. If there's a way for someone to get to that next level, how can I achieve success, wherever you define success is for yourself and your family, that I'm not struggling, that I can take some of the trips that I may want, that I can put my son or daughter through school, or I can go to a trade school, whatever the situation, or I can get that bigger house. What is it that I need to do? What do I need to clear up, as far as my financial freedom? Where do you need to go with that? So we all can do it. It's just how to get from point A to point B.
And we deal with that.
Right, exactly.
Workshops, the seminars, we deal with that. How do you get there? As a church, I do a lot of workshops with churches. Like, how do you get there? If you have 50 members, or if you have 25 members, or if you have 10 members and you're just starting out, how do we get from frying chicken? Do we have to fry chicken? Do we have to boil hot dogs? You don't have to.
You don't have to do those traditional church chicken dinners,
you don't have
bake sales, right?
Exactly. It's okay for people that want to do that, but I'm talking about the churches that no longer want to do that.
Right.
So if you've been doing that for 30 years or 40 years and you don't want to do that anymore, and you want to know what's the process, that's what I come in to do. I bring me and my team, and we come and explain to you, there is a better way. There is a process, and you don't have to struggle. So if you go back and look at some of the other works that I have on YouTube, that's one thing I talk about: a lifestyle without struggle.
Oh wow. So again, Bernadette, she's a trainer, presenter, coach, consultant, speaker for conferences, retreats, women events, faith organizations, etc., etc., etc. So this woman does a lot of great things to help great people out. And if you feel like you're not so great, consider yourself great, because you're going to be of greatness when you deal with this woman here.
We're going to be great. We're all going to be great.
Just think of doing something different that you haven't done before, and going to a whole nother level. Now, it's going to require that you do some work on your part as well, because she can't do it all. You know, how bad do you want this? So let me ask you this question. So organizations, whether big or small, once you go in with your seminar, you know, how long does it typically take for someone, and again, everybody's at different levels.
Yes.
So depending on what level and what state of mind, you know, financially, whatever, how long does it normally take for you to go through this process?
What I do is I do a survey with them. So I do a survey if it's a church, or if it's an organization, if it's an individual. I first do a survey, and once I do that survey, I can tell you if it's going to take 30 days, if it's going to take us 60 days, if it's going to take 93 years, 4 years. You know, if you're trying to pay off debt, if you're trying to be debt free. Once I can do an assessment of what the debt you have and how much it is, and really how much income you have to help pay that debt down, then I can tell you about how long it will take for you to get debt free.
So we're starting, so we get signed up for the process, we're going through it. Does everyone, I'll just ask this question, does everyone make it through? Do you have some that's, you know, stop, pause, come back in again, start, restart, you know, stop, restart, you know?
Yes. I mean, it's just like procrastination. That is probably one of the biggest things that happen. I dealt with it. I'm sure you have dealt with it. And one thing that happened when we start dealing with our debt, we have to tell ourselves the truth.
Right.
And once we start telling ourselves the truth, the fear comes.
Yeah.
And so when we put it all out on the table, and you thinking you maybe have $4,000 in debt, and all of a sudden you look at it and you realize, oh wait, I got $21,000 in debt. Or maybe your husband or your wife don't know how much you've been spending on credit cards. So it brings out a whole lot of things that you have to deal with. And so yes, it can be pretty scary, you know, having to deal with that. So some people, as soon as they see it, it get overwhelming. They're just like, I can't do it. So then I move them into the life coaching piece. So we may start out trying to get you debt free, but then something happened and we realized, okay, you're not really ready to handle being debt free because you got some real life issues going on. So I need to take you out of my debt free class, and now I need to move you over into my life coaching class. So we will transition to you where you need to.
And the life coaching class involves what?
It deals with your real life.
Okay.
You know, so maybe if since we're talking about debt, so let's just stay in that vein right there. So if we're talking about debt and you have always had a mindset of I'm always broke, you know, I'm always poor, my whole family was poor, my uncle was poor, my daddy was broke, you to a better job. So we're going to talk about that later on when one of my guests get here, because we have helped several people that's taken one of her classes that were making, I'm going to say $10, $11 an hour, and got them into an opportunity to make $70, $80 an hour.
Wow.
So now you're talking about having to deal with $10,000 in debt. You making $80 an hour. It don't seem so impossible.
Right.
But when you making $9 an hour, it really seems impossible. So we're not just worried about your debt. It's like, how can I help you make better money? How can I help you make more money? But first, let me help you deal with managing your money. Because even if you're making $100,000 and you don't know how to manage your money, you just as broke as you were with $5. So we gonna handle all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. And I told someone, I was telling someone in St. Louis that you can make $10 and have just as much as a person with $100,000. It's just all how you manage it.
How you manage it.
And then you don't have the debt load. Of course, usually people with higher incomes, they're going to do more, spend more, different lifestyles versus a person at 10K, you know, but still yet, it all depends on how you do it.
You have got to live below your means.
And even sometimes others, I'm saying that even millionaires, they're not really trying to spend their money. They're trying to figure out, how can I make more money?
Exactly.
I want to make my money grow, you know. So,
exactly.
And it's just getting people to understand that mindset. Even making $20,000, how can I make this $20K grow?
Exactly.
You know, it can be done, and you just gotta, you know, work out a plan of action. You know, if you don't plan to do it, you plan to fail.
You are definitely going to fail.
Yes. So you gotta have some type of plan of action in there to rise above that which you're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
And the biggest thing you mentioned again when we showed this your dream board, you know, I always believed in, and it's two things. I always thought, you know, if I wrote it out, put it in front of me, that I can see it, because I'm constantly looking at it every day. Whether or not I may not know at this point how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to work toward getting to that goal. It's just like when I wanted to lose weight. Yes. I would purposely, for example, I would go and purchase a pair of pants. I said, well, I can't get in these pants yet, but I'll buy them, and I'm determined. I said, I'm going to get down to a size 32, 31, what have you, because I want them, you know. But that's a goal. But you put that in front of you. Don't buy them and put them in the closet. because now that goal is out of sight.
Exactly.
But if I put it in front of me and I can focus on it, then I have something to work towards.
Exactly.
You know, so tucked away, out of sight, out of mind, then, well, I'm going to get to it. Oh, I forgot I got that goal, that dream that I want to do. I want to get that house. Or we want to have a baby, but I don't have the money to do it, but how do I get there?
Exactly.
You know, oh, the baby showed up, and then how do I get there? You know, still, you continue to try to figure out and make happen the reality.
Okay. So let me just talk about that vision board, because a lot of times, and I have people, guests to come in and they look at it and they're just overwhelmed, because I know it's huge and it's a lot of stuff up there. But I also tell when I go in there, I'm not just looking at it just to decorate it because it's for me.
Right.
But I'm believing every single thing that I have on that board. I don't care how big, how large it is. If I dream about it or I think about it and I'm praying about it, I put it on that board. But more than anything, I'm believing that it is possible. So I'm not just putting it on there because that's a fad. It's just write the vision, make it plain, put it on the vision board. It's bigger than that for me. It's I need to see it because I need to believe this is something that I can accomplish. And so the other thing with the vision board is I constantly take it down. So I know some people leave it up, but once I've accomplished that or that have come to fruition, then I will take that down. So because what's happening now with the belief gets, you building your belief, you're building your faith. So as you're building on it, it really seems like things are happening like this. What's happening is now your faith is being built. So there really isn't anything that you can't tell me that God can't do for me.
So tell us, what's been one of your biggest dreams that you put on that board and have accomplished?
Okay, I think my biggest dream is to be able to Affective Transformation. I have several other businesses that I started and was working toward, but I've been doing life coaching and business coaching kind of on a lower scale, but I really wanted to take that business over the top. And so when I got 100 people to sign up for this 60-day go live for me, that was just amazing because that was on my board that I'm going to get 100 people to sign up for the next 60 days. I put that on that board and looked at it and I just said, okay, Lord, every day I want 100 people to come with me on this journey for the next 60 days. And so when that happened, that's my latest accomplishment. But I think the greatest one that I had was my daughter is planning a school trip and she wanted to go to Dubai. And so this one haven't come because it doesn't happen until next year.
Okay,
and
working on it.
Yes, and I have been talking about going to Dubai. And so when she came home and said, Mom, you're not going to believe this. And I said, what? She said, my school trip is for Dubai and the parents can go too. I said, sign me up. So I had that on my board, and a few months later, here she comes saying, this is where the school trip is. All this time they had been going to Paris, they had been going to Italy, but they had not gone to Dubai. But on next year, we will be going to Dubai.
See, that's the divine intervention.
Yes, so I'm excited. Yes,
and it's going to happen.
Yes,
it's going to happen.
Yes.
So are we ready to bring our guests in?
We are ready.
Okay. So again, this is, the great Bernadette, and Ms. Frazier is doing awesome things here in Atlanta and across the country. I mean, just because she's here in Atlanta, that doesn't mean that she can't reach out to assist you, your organization, businesses, whatever state, country, part of the globe that you are in. She can, she's available.
We travel everywhere.
She's accessible to you, so don't feel like, oh, she's in Georgia, she can't get to me. No, that's not true.
No, we travel everywhere.
So she's here for you. She's here with you. But we're going to prepare to bring our guests in.
Okay.
And help us welcome to the stage. We have coming to you, we have Miss Rose Graham. She's going to be coming in.
Awesome.
And then, and Rose, just before Rose gets here, Rose is the CEO of Perfecting Talent, and she also has a great show called Press to Pause.
Yes.
She does a great thing with both of those organizations, and if you can also find her again online, Perfecting Talent. I've worked with her for several years on that, and then Press to Pause as well. So she's the CEO of that, and then we have the great, fabulous Miss Alicia Tillman. Alicia, again, she does some great things in her ministry and work as well. She's going to tell us a little bit about that as well. So help me welcome to the show. Miss Alicia.
Rose Graham,
Come on in. And then we got to get Miss Alicia Tillman in here.
Awesome.
Here's Miss Rose. Welcome.
Rose. How are you?
And just so you know, we're going to get Miss Rose a sweet potato too.
Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
Everybody
If you know Miss Rose, you know Miss Rose and sweet potatoes, right?
Awesome.
And then as soon as Miss Tillman gets in, Miss Tillman's coming in now. Welcome, Miss Tillman.
Hey, Alicia. How are you?
How you doing?
Wonderful.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
And
much.
everything. And so now that we have the lady, because you know I want to know what's up with these trash bags.
Okay.
You know, so
Okay.
these trash bags on the table, you know, like, okay, that's part of the transformation.
Okay, yes, this is part of the transformation.
Okay.
So if everyone will take a trash bag, help this trash bag, okay, and we're gonna use these mirrors. Okay, so and I forgot one thing. Can we just use our props for one really quick second? Miss Alicia, would you grab flip flop? One for each of us, please. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You are welcome.
Okay, that's for you. Get you a little cute one. And so, I don't know if you want pink, so let's give you a blue one.
It doesn't matter.
And she got a hot yellow one there, so.
She got the hot yellow with her black on. There she go.
Yes,
That's what I'm talking about.
So if everyone can just hold your flip flop up, let everybody see her.
I think it's a little bit too small for my feet though, but it's all good.
Okay, so there is something coming out in the near future, and so you guys are gonna be my first introduction. I've been talking about this for a minute, and it is called Trash Bag and Flip Flops, and some of you have not heard, you know, my story, but how I got to be where I am. It's been a long story because, you know, we all got history,
Right,
and we all have a background. And so I'm not going to try to tell the whole story. I'm just going to tell a little bit of it. When my parents separated and they, you know, it was domestic violence. And so we were living in Kansas City at the time. And I really can't tell you what time of the morning it was. It was like 2, 3, just a cool morning. And so my mom, you know, she had us to, you know, 5 girls. She got little girls. We lived like 7, and I think my older sister may have been 8. I believe. I know at that time I was probably about 5, so maybe 10, 8 or 9. So anyway, she in the process of her trying to get out the house, she told all of us. She grabbed the trash bag and just told my 2 older sisters to put, you know, as many clothes as they could in a trash bag.
Wow.
And in the process of trying to get out, she didn't realize that only my oldest sister put on a pair of shoes. And my oldest sister put on a pair of flip-flops. So we're walking down the street, we're walking out during the sidewalk, not knowing where she's gonna go. It's not even daylight yet. And she looked down and realized that none of us have on shoes.
Wow.
And it's a cool morning. And so in this process of this walking, we're crying, she's just trying to console us, and we're having to stop and share flip-flops. And so, you know, my older sister would take it off, and she'd pass it to my second oldest sister. And then she'd walk a little while, and then she would stop and pass it to my third oldest sister.
Wow.
And then she would stop and pass it to me. And so you think a 10-year-old got on a pair of flip-flops, and a 5-year-old trying to wear those flip-flops. You know, those, it's big, it's clumsy, it's whatever.
And you were flipping and flopping.
And so we flipping, we flopping, we clump. And here my mom is trying to figure out where we're gonna go and what we're gonna do and what she's gonna do. Not only for her, but what is she gonna do with all of us? And she was in this transition. So and again. And so when I tell this story, I tell people this, as sad as it seemed like it should be, I called my sisters one day and I asked them, I said, where did you get out of that happening to us? And so, you know, we all got something out of it, so I'm not going to try to tell their version. I'm just going to tell the Bernadette version.
That's right.
And so in that version, I got out of survival. I said, you know, with my mom, she then moves to Mississippi and started her own life and got a house and raised 5 girls. And we lived and we survived. And, you know, and we are all doing extremely well. And so out of that, I tell anybody, I don't care what you're going through. I don't care if you leave your situation and all you have is a trash bag and a pair of flip-flops.
Wow.
If you leave with nothing but a trash bag
My God.
and one pair of flip-flops,
Wow.
you know, guess what that can turn into? That can turn into a millionaire. I can sit here right down today
Amen.
and say I have become a millionaire.
Wow.
Even though my mom left with a bag, a trash bag, and a pair of flip-flops. So that's my story. So when it's hard and I don't know what I'm gonna do or how I'm gonna make it, I remember this lady. If
Wow.
she can leave and start over with a trash bag of clothes, one trash bag, and a pair of flip-flops,
Wow.
I can do anything.
Wow.
I can do absolutely anything.
And to that, you know, we did a show, Straight Talk with Roger Hunt. We did a show on domestic violence. It has not aired or been published yet. You mentioned that, you know, a lot of people are going through, you went through that as a young girl, your mom did. And there's people out there now, and I just want to touch on this since you brought it up. There's people outline that you can call, and I tell people that have been in those situations, it's not as easy as some people think that why don't you just leave?
Right.
Some women and some men that I have spoken to, you know, share the horror that they go through in these various situations, you know, where their life is threatened if they should leave. You know, so in cases of the two women that I dealt with and spoke with, you know, they found themselves in the middle of the night getting a trash bag, and this is exactly what they said. I had to grab everything I could, set it to a place to where when he was asleep,
I can get out fast.
I can get out and just go. And that's similar to what you're just saying too. So, but if you know of someone, and sometimes it has to be timing. You know, a lot of times people depend on that support from that person. So again, it's not as easy as people think it is just to get out and escape.
Yes.
You know, again, in your mom's case, I don't know where I'm going to go, but I know I got to do something. I can't stay in this situation. Her concern was to protect you all, her babies. That was her concern.
Yes.
And most mothers, you know, are going to reach out to protect their babies, you know, and that's what moms do. And from Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted, just remember, be inspired, be informed, and be educated about something that's out there from all of these ladies, transforming your life to something great, something positive, and something awesome. You can do it. Thank you all for watching, along with myself, Miss Bernadette, Miss Rose, Miss Alicia. We appreciate you all taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch us. Until the next time, we'll see you then.
And basically, you guys,
Next week
Perfected
on
Talk
Straight
Connections
Talk
was
with Roger
designed
Hunt
and set up to
Unscripted,
basically
Affective Transformation
train,
Part 2.
develop, and to ultimately outsource or cause our talents to get work in the industry.
Lemons represent bad situations that we all face, but it's not about what we have with the lemons. We all have a set, but what do you do with them? What bitter things that happen in your life, what have you done with that to make it into something good and something useful?
My final thoughts are, there is a life without struggle. Take your trash bags, take your flip-flops, and live every day great.